Hi all fuels out there, it is Kanelia here, and welcome back to my Christmas calendar. Today is the 13th, and in Sweden, on this day we celebrate something called Lucia. That is when the kids dress up and sing Christmas songs, and then they get like gingerbread and Lussekatt, which is saffron buns basically. And that is what we are going to do today, not dress up and sing, but saffron buns. So for this recipe you are going to need half a liter of milk, 200 grams of margarine or butter, 50 grams of yeast, a teaspoon of salt, about 2 deciliters of sugar, a gram of saffron, and roughly 1.5 liters of flour. And with the flour it's better to have less, so the dough is more loose, because that will make the bun more juicy in the end. You want to mix the dough really well, so the gluten threads can do their job and be awesome in every way. So you want the dough to look something like this and not something like this. And there is actually a really handy bakery tip for you here. So you just take a little piece of the dough like this, and then you roll it in your hand, and then you kind of drag the dough between your fingers, and if the dough cracks up, then it's not a good dough. But if you basically can see through the dough a little bit, then that is perfect. That is what you want. You don't want it to be like this where it just breaks all the time, because then it's not done. If the dough looks something like this, then you just have to mix it a little bit longer until it looks like the first dough. So now here is when most traditional recipes of yeasted dough should say like you have to yeast it for about 30 minutes or so, but a bakery tip for you, you really don't have to do that. So skip that step, and then instead you just weigh the piece of dough up, and they should weigh about 60 grams or 2.15 ounces. The thing that I like to do is to tear them a little bit, and that is just because I want the final bun to have a nice flat texture. So we will take a bun and roll them out to a long sausage, and then you take one end and roll it inwards, and you take the other end and roll it outwards, so they form two like shells on either side, and they should look something like this. And then in the end you take a raisin in each and every swirl of these saffron buns, and you just push down as hard as you can. It's really important that you push down like to the bottom of it, because otherwise it's going to just pop off the saffron bun when you yeast and bake them. You can only take one raisin per swirl, because otherwise it's illegal. So now it's time for the yeasting, and I have another little trick. You should put your oven at about 50 degrees, and then you are going to spray your buns with water. And this is because the buns and the yeasted dough, they like it when it's about 37 degrees Celsius, and it has to be about 80% moist in the air, I believe. So you should turn off the oven and just check the temperature and spray the buns every now and then. These buns are going to yeast for about half an hour, I would say, or until the buns have expanded in size, so they're twice as big as they were in the beginning. So now it's time to bake them, and you want the oven temperature to be at about 210 degrees Celsius, and you are going to bake these for about 6 minutes. There's some things you can do before baking them. Some people kind of paint them with eggs and water mix, and that is because you want them shiny. You can also do this step after baking them. That will make them shiny as well, but it will also make them extremely sticky. So I'm not going to do that. And now you're pretty much done. So it's kind of simple, and I really like it. Saffron buns are one of my favorite things about Christmas, and yeah, I really hope you like this little tutorial on saffron buns or Lussekatt. So that was pretty much it. So now enjoy your saffron buns or Lussekatt, and then I will see you tomorrow with another video. Goodbye!